Welcome to Unit 1 of Real Shanghai Mathematics Practice Book 3.1. So this is the first unit of the first book in Year 3. There are two books. This is the first one, 3.1. Second book is 3.2. This consists of 6 units. This is the first unit, which is called Revising and Improving, and it consists of 3 parts. So the first part is called a brief review. And let's start off. Page 2, question 1. Calculate the following. So you should be familiar with how to do these various ways that can be done. I would do 0 take away 0, 0, 7 take away 5 is 2, and 6 take away 2 is 4, and go in that order, and that would be your answer. And again, if you're familiar with addition, 15 plus 85 is 100, that's going to be 200, plus 100, 300, and so on and so forth. And in terms of this one, you can do 217 take away 83, so 7 take away 3 is 4. The 1 you borrow from the 2, so the 2 becomes a 1. 11 take 8, the same as 11 take away 1, take away 7, so that's going to be another 3 there. And then 1 take away 1 is 0, so that's going to be 30. What did we say? 34, and so on and so forth. And remember, the order division is done before times. So with a question like 6 plus 4 times 3 is 4 times 3 is 12, then plus the 6. And remember, any number times by 0 is 0. So moving on to question 2, think and calculate. So go ahead and do the calculations. Should be fairly straightforward. Which one should I pick? 248 plus 152. So if you go down the columns, you can see there's a pattern between them, and that should help you. But if you just take 268 plus 32, so 32 plus 68, that's 100. So it's going to be 268 plus 32, which is 300 plus 100, 400. Again, a lot of this will depend how confident your child is. As long as whatever method they use is fairly quick and accurate, then that's fine. And number 3, work these out. Show the steps in your calculation. So 267 take away 152 plus 238. So do one of the calculations first, perhaps 267 take away 152, and then after you've got that, then you can add the 238. And question 4, partition and combine. So 14 times 7, just a reminder, the way to do this is 10 times 7 plus 4 times 7. And again, 4 times 19, the best way to do, or one of the ways to do it, is 4 times 10 plus 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. And you should be very familiar with the times tables now. And if they're not, again, you need to practice them and do it on a regular basis, short but regular, and get to a point where you can test any times tables up to times 10. So don't go past that, because there's probably not a point. And the other ones probably may be covered, but they're not technically that important, but cover the other ones. For the other ones, you can do partition method to do the answers. And which one is the next one? 16 times 5 take away 8 times 5. So just to remind me, the way to do that, it'd be both of them are times by 5, so it'll be times by 5, and the number before we do 16 take away 8, so that's the same as 8 times 5. Okay, or you can do use the bracket way like they've done for one before that. So times both the times by 5, so it's 3 plus 2, so it'll be 5 times 5. That's for 3 times 5 plus 2 times 5. Question 5a. Uncle Paulo picked peaches. He picked 156 kilograms, and then 203rd on the second and third days respectively. How many kilograms of peach did he pick? So 156 plus 200, and then third day is also 200 again. So 156 plus 200 plus 200. So 156 plus 400. B. Emma brought 2 sets of comic books. One cost 25. The other set was made up of 3 comic books, and each cost £8. So the other set is 3 times 8 is 24, and then 24 plus 25. Count the shapes. Level B. There are how many triangles? Again, a bit more trickier than you may think. So do that. So you can see the small triangles. You can see small triangles, so you can count those, and then you've got larger triangles, which are consisted of 4 smaller triangles. So you've got those there as well. And I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 potentially larger ones. So you need to double check those. And question 2, 25 numbers in the 5 times 5 square. Calculate their sum. Calculate their sum. There are 25 numbers in the 5 times 5. Calculate their sum. So each one, it looks like, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all seem to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. So you can just work out what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is, add them together, and then times them by 5. And then moving on to the second part, which is called multiply or divide two numbers. Calculate number of question 1. There are how many blocks in the colored columns, and there are so many columns, so there are how many blocks in total. So there are how many blocks in colored column? Okay, yeah, so each one. So there are 6 blocks in the colored columns, which is one of them. And there are how many columns? Well, there are 3, 4, 5 columns altogether, so it's 3 times 5. And similar for the other one. Question 2, write these as showing steps in your calculations. Again, times are similar level to division, and in terms of times, you can do it in any order. And with division, it's a little bit more careful because you have to start with the largest number. Okay, but so which way should we do? Do 64 divided by 8. So 64 divided by 8 is 8, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's how you can do multiple divide two numbers. And then moving on to the next question, 3a. How many meters has the swimmer swum? The correct number sentence is which one? So he has swum 3 lengths of 25 meters length, so 25 times by 3. B. The teacher bought prizes for hardworking pupils. Spent £120 and 3 boxes of pen. Each box has 8 pens. How much does each pen cost? So each pen costs, so we do 120 divided by 3. That'll give you the box amount for the boxes. And then each box has 8 pence, so 128 divided by 3, and then that answer will have to be divided by 8 as well. And then C, yes, 3 people donated money at a homeless charity. The average donation was £5 each. 40 plus, there are 4 classes of whole year. How much was the total donation? Okay, so one step at a time. Sometimes you have to read the question again to get your head around them. So average donation was £5 each. That's for the pupils. There are 40 pupils in each class. Okay, so that's going to be 40 times by 5. And then there are 4 classes in the whole thing. So 40 times by 5 times by 4. Question 4. Again, let your child try these. If they're getting stuck and you're not able to help them, then probably refer to what I'm saying, or just listen to the what I'm going through beforehand as a parent, so you're familiar with the questions when they come up. 4a. Pupils were preparing a party to celebrate Easter. Pupils made 81 paper Easter eggs. They tied 9 paper Easter eggs together to make a string and gave 3 strings of paper. Each Easter eggs, paper Easter eggs to each group in the party. How many groups can receive these strings of Easter eggs? Okay, so again, you need to read some of these again. They made 81 paper Easter eggs. They tied 9 paper Easter eggs together to make a string. Okay, so and they gave 3 strings of paper. Nine paper Easter eggs together to make a string, and they gave 3 strings of paper Easter eggs to each group. Oh, okay. So the 9 paper Easter eggs together, so that would be 81 divided by 9. So they made 9 strings, and then they gave 3 strings of paper to each of the group. So that'd be 9 divided by 3, and so that'd be 3. Although it's a bit confusing. B. Teacher bought some fruits for the pupils year 3. There are 5 classes year 3. Each class has 4 groups, and each group was given 2 kilograms of fruit. How many kilograms of fruit did the teacher buy altogether? So then you go through, read it again, and divide and underline the important words. So the 5 classes in year 3. Each class has 4 groups. So that's going to be 20 classes altogether, and each class, 20 groups altogether. And then each group was given 2 kilograms of food, so 20 times 4, which is 80. Right, B, to prepare parents' evening decoration for pupil painting. There are 8 classes in year 1 and in year 2. Each class has 5 paintings. In total, the number of paintings from year 3, 4, and 5 was 2 times the number of paintings for year 1 and 2. How many paintings by pupil year 2, 3 were used altogether? Okay, so these now jump from level B, A to B is quite hard, so the child may struggle with this. And it's a concept of, it gets easier when you start using algebra. So if your child can't do this, not a problem. But it's step by step, and it can be difficult. 2 pupils had a talent competition in the school hall. There were 16 entries in total. Half of the entries won the prize for an effort, and half the remainder won prizes for attitude. How many entries won prizes for attitude? So there were 16 entries. Half of the entries won prizes for attitude. Okay, for the remainder. So remainder half is still half. So I would assume that's the 8. Certainly seems to be easier than question 1. And then moving on to the last one, which is question 3. Shapes made from squares, polyominoes, that's what they're calling them. Sort these shapes by counting the squares in each one. So 2 polynomials means you're basically shapes made up of 2 squares, and 3 and so forth. So the 4 polynomials will be shapes labeled 3 and 4 and so on. To multiple choice, write the correct answer in the brackets. We can cut out how many of those little squares at most from a little square, at most from the 4 by 4 square. So how many of those? 1, 2, 3, 4 seems to be the case. I assume the only 4 polynomial that cannot be found by adding 1 square to the 3 polynomial is the following. Okay, so again, you need to get your head around. So if you add 1, you can make it longer. So C can be made. You can put 1 in the middle, B can be made, and you can put at the end. However, A cannot be made because you have to move another one as well. So the A is the only one which can't be made from that. And number 1, level B, form 4 times 3 rectangles with these polymorphs. Shade the rectangles with different colors to represent the polymorphs. Form a 4 times 3 rectangle with these polynomials. Shade rectangles, different ones, so you have to work out how you're gonna get this particular shape. And so some strategy seems to be in order. How would you do this? Okay, how would you do this? I mean, it sounds like the corner one. That corner one may have to be twisted around. And number 2, again, level B, as I said, are much harder. So if you're struggling with these, not a problem. And if you're really keen on going through them, then I can, I guess, go through them if the answer sheet isn't clear. To partition the numeral 9 diagram with 4 different polynomial shapes, color them on the diagram. So they have to be 4 polynomial shapes. Color them in the diagram. Different 4. Okay, so different 4 polynomial shapes. So each one's going to have to be 4. How many have you got? 4, 8, 4, 8. How many are there? 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 8 makes 17. Let me double check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there are 16, so it can be made. And the different shapes of polynomials can be done. And that's the end of this particular one. As I said before, level B's can be much harder, so it's up to you, optional. If your child is finding it very easy, then that would be a good stretch. But it is, as I say, a big jump sometimes, and in particularly this last couple of questions are certainly a bigger jump in terms of level A material. And so it's optional. It don't have to be done, so don't get frustrated. It doesn't have to be done. Level A is much more important, and they sort of go step by step building up the information, and there's not such much a jump with those, whereas again with level B is a much stronger jump. So please do like, subscribe, and share comments below as we move on to year 3. Thank you.